Okay.
seeking the Ebola issue. What?
Okay,
Oh, by the way, one more problem, Ebola.
Okay.
Tell me all about it.
Okay.
And as Mark steps off stage to put on his medical garb, I'm going to discuss Ebola for a minute. There is no logical reason the person from Liberia had any right to Florida with Ebola. Number one, he was from the ghetto. There is a government organization that looks like it's tied back to the White House that somebody flew Mr. Ebola Boy to America to infect America so that somehow the American Medical Society would fix Ebola.
Okay,
I'm
no,
going
no.
to tell you right now,
That's
Ebola is another fraud brought on by this government trying to stop the idea that, oh my God, the poor person in Africa, he's got Ebola.
Okay, well,
Ebola's been around for 40 years. This should have been cured a long time
no,
ago.
No, here's what's going on.
Okay, tell me what's going on.
Here's going on. I joined Doctors Without Gloves.
Are you Doctors Without Gloves?
Doctors with Gloves.
Do
Okay.
you have gloves?
Well, no. See
Do
what
you have gloves?
Well, see the thing about
You want gloves?
No, you can't have gloves
I can't have gloves.
because all the money that was supposed to be spent on gloves and masks was spent on other things.
Oh, you mean like the administrative management teams that made $100 grand a year? Let's fly the Ebola people here.
No.
Oh, by the way, my job is to fly them there.
Oh, no,
what
no,
about
no.
the U.S. troops that went to fight the Ebola?
No. Well, first of all, there was $634 million that
Wow, that's a lot of money.
that Michelle Obama's roommate.
Oh, Michelle Obama.
Her roommate got to do the Obamacare
Whoa,
website.
Whoa.
That came out of
Wait a minute.
came out of the CDC
I got some
budget.
bad news. Wait a minute. Michelle Obama's roommate, she was vice president of the company that set up the Affordable Care Act
Right.
website. She made $500 million.
Not I have about 634 million.
634 million. And why is she in the middle of the Ebola fight?
Because
how many millions do we got to pay this woman again?
No, but the point was that money came out of the CDC budget.
Oh, CDC budget.
And so that
What is their budget?
Okay, and so their budget was about 10 billion.
Oh, 10 billion.
Yeah, so that came out-
634 million is nothing.
Okay, so that would have been 215 million pairs of surgical gloves, right?
Oh my God.
And so also, and a lot of that money got kicked back. So
Kickback.
So Michelle could get her $12,000
Well, I gotta
aqua
tell you,
dresses.
well, every time Michelle gets in the middle of this, I know she's
Yeah,
taking
so-
a cut.
so
it's
any-
just the way it is.
And that's not.
Any disbarred attorney that's been disbarred since the 90s will do anything to get a cut.
Okay, well, here's the other thing. The other CDC money besides what went on the botched Obamacare exchange, there's also money went to anti-bullying
Anti-bullying.
instead of gloves. Anti-bullying is
No gloves?
more important than gloves. Anti-bullying.
Anti-bullying.
And then
Does
and
that
so
mean if I tell you, Mark, that I'm going to push you?
well, that means that's more important than gloves. Trans fats more important than gloves.
Trans fat.
That's more important than gloves. And besides, those yucky gloves and doctor things don't look very nice. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
And
I
every-
understand Ebola is more important than
Well-
trans fat, bullying.
No, come on! Don't be worrying about every little thing about Ebola. It's not that
what's all
contagious.
that? Yeah,
it's not
I know
that big of a.
Ebola.
It's not a
By
big
the way,
deal. It's not a big deal.
You know what's another funny thing about Ebola? They said it's not
Don't worry about it.
communicable.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You gotta hear this. Ebola has been testified to by numerous doctors that it's not transmittable by breathing. What they have failed to tell the nation, if I sneeze on this table, the droplets of Ebola will last up to 72 hours. Any contact, you're getting Ebola.
Okay, now listen to this. Now,
So don't tell me that it's not communicable.
No, but instead of having masks and gloves, also the CDE spent money on workplace wellness.
Workplace
Wellness.
wellness.
Workplace wellness.
I'm well.
Okay, and they also sent it on ethnic approaches to community health is more important than gloves. Ethnic approaches to community health.
Of course, if you're a black person with Ebola, you better have
Yeah, okay.
everything. If you're a white person with
okay.
Ebola, you got nothing.
Okay, and then it was promoting breastfeeding.
Breastfeeding.
Yeah, so instead of
if I was a female and I was breastfeeding my baby and I had Ebola, I'm supposed to still breastfeed because now my baby's going to get Ebola.
No,
and
no,
now
no.
give my baby Ebola.
No, the money that was supposed to be spent on surgical gloves and masks was spent on breastfeeding, da-da-da. It was also spent on lobbying for higher tobacco taxes.
Oh, tobacco's got everything to do with
Yeah,
Ebola.
so, yeah,
But
more.
it just sounds like another tax to me.
Okay, and then they did zoning to hurt fast food businesses. That's where the CDC money
What do
went.
you mean? Why does Ebola have anything to do with fast food?
The money for Ebola was spent on these things. So there was no money for gloves. There was no money for masks because it was sent on dance fitness. The
Dance fitness.
CDC money went to dance fitness.
Oh, Mark, please.
It went
if
to-
I want to dance, I need some fitness.
But that came out of the
what does
CDC
that got to
budget.
do with Ebola?
That came out of the CDC budget. So that's why there's no
Why
gloves.
is it in the CDC budget if it's a dance fitness?
Okay.
The budget should concern itself with training.
No.
Medical professionals.
No.
Not to be bloodied with Ebola.
It's not that
Look at
bad.
that. What is that?
It's not that contagious.
I think the
Don't-
cameras need to
don't-
see that.
It's not that contagious.
What camera
It's
do
no
we
big
have
deal.
on this?
Okay. You
Mark's
should.
got Ebola. He's got the.
You-
It's a bleeding disease.
you
Mark's
should- you-
bleeding out of his breast because he had an Ebola woman suck his breast, and now we got sucking breast Ebola blood.
Okay, anyway.
that's right there that will last 72 hours on that breastplate.
No, anyway. And
I'm amazed.
and
I
then
don't even understand anymore.
No, okay. And the other money that was supposed to go to masks and gloves went to massage therapy.
Massage therapy.
Yeah.
Let's massage Ebola. Oh, by the way,
Massage therapy.
cough some more.
Yeah, massage
Cough
therapy.
some more. Let's
Okay.
massage some more Ebola.
Okay, and also instead of gloves and masks, you know what the CDC bought? They were painting bike lanes.
Oh, they got to be painting bike lanes.
By painting bike lanes.
Because that one woman that decided, I'm going to ride my bike, so now we're going to paint bike lanes.
Okay.
Because I'm going to ride my bike and I'm going to cough Ebola on everybody.
Okay, and then instead of gloves and masks, they also spent money on school salad bars.
Oh, my God.
School salad bars.
Well,
yeah.
you know what? You don't want Ebola on that piece of romaine. And you know, who the hell knows if that tomato's got
Okay,
Ebola?
and another thing, and instead of buying gloves and masks,
Yeah.
they've spent money. The CD spent their money on pet neutering.
Pet neutering.
Pet neutering. Excuse me. Sorry.
Well, I got a question about that. Are we neutering the pet
Okay.
because it can't spread Ebola through
Okay,
a
and then-
non-neutered source?
And also, instead of buying gloves and masks, the CD spent all their money on urban gardening. Urban gardening.
Urban gardening.
And so, anyway, that's what happened to the budget. And now, what the Obama people said is like, there's budget cuts, But actually, there was a 35% increase in the CDC budget from $8.7 billion
Well, I got
in
a
2003
news for you, man. If
to
I was part of the
10.8.
CDC, I'd tell the government, just give me another couple of billion. I'm
Yeah,
good to go.
and
Let's move on. We're
okay.
going to move on.
Okay.
We're going to go move on to ABC licenses, which.